How's it going, super friends? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Brad, the DC Universe Geek, for those of you who may not know, and usually I review my action figures over there on the review bench, but occasionally I like to open them in front of your face to face, Chatty McChatterson, and do it this way. These are bigger figures, so I can usually kind of get away with doing it that way. Don't worry, there will be lots of pictures in the video as well for you to see. It won't just be me opening them and then you looking at them as I go like this, because we all know that that doesn't always lend very well to an action figure review. You can't see enough. So it's going to be a bit of a mix of the pair of them, but I wanted to do it this way for a change, just for a change, to do it differently. So the Deathstroke figure, which I would have figured would have been part of the Batman missions line because Deathstroke is typically seen as a Batman villain, is actually part of the Justice League line, as you can see here. Now it's not blurry. Got the figure, the front of the box, you got the window here. Very cool, classic old Mego style. There's the side, you got an image of the figure in a pose that you may or may not be able to get him in. There's that, there's the barcode. I know people like the barcode. And on the back, we have other figures. Obviously Flash and Superman, which I've previously reviewed. Another image of Deathstroke. And then on this side, we have all the points of articulation on that side. And we have more images of Deathstroke. Yeah, so let's open him first. And let's take Batwing out of the picture. And I know that from time to time people say, man, why do you destroy the boxes? I'm not destroying them to be cheeky. I guess sometimes just maybe a little bit cheeky, but that's because I'm not a box keeper unless I think the box is really worth keeping or something like that. I don't keep all the boxes. Have you seen how many figures I have? I would have so many boxes in my house. It would be ridiculous. And I have people say, well, why don't you just sell the boxes on eBay? Because I ain't about that life. I don't sell the boxes on eBay. Some people do. Kudos to you if you do that. I don't do that. I just recycle them. He's got his backdroppy thing stuck to him. More elastics. Ow! That really hurt. Ow! I'm gonna do it again. Oh, his sword flew. Ow, that really stings. That's really unpleasant. So for starters, here's Deathstroke. Pretty good. They've actually gone ahead and molded the texture onto his suit. These True Moves figures, this latest kind of iteration of them to accompany the Justice League and the Batman missions line is actually really quite fantastic. These are really, really good. And I was never interested in these, but yeah, these are actually really good for what they are. They're just like big multiverse figures, except for with no articulation in the body, like whatsoever. Sculpted bandana. Like I said, all the details on his suit are actually sculpted onto that. That's pretty cool. You got his belt there with all the pouches and stuff. Yeah, that looks good. His gloves here, they've got a glove line there. They're not just painted on, but they're sculpted, and there's articulation here at the wrists. That face sculpt is actually pretty good too. It's making me wish that we had got a multiverse Deathstroke figure, because they really could have done something kind of cool, don't you think? Also, this Deathstroke is one of the few True Moves figures to actually come with an accessory. He comes with his sword. That's pretty good. You get the sword and you get his scabbard. Come out of there. See right there? You got the shape of the sword. That's actually pretty accurate. Man, they are killing it with these True Moves figures. Stick it back in the scabbard. Deathstroke has a little tiny peg hole in his back, and the scabbard has a little peg, and you just stick the peg in the hole, and ta-da, it stays on his back. For those of you who may not be familiar with the articulation on this line, let me be the first to show you. Deathstroke's head is likely on a ball peg. I haven't pulled it off, although it doesn't really have any other motion other than round and round. You have the rounded hinge in the shoulder there and the armpit, and it goes around and out. They never usually go up that far with these figures either. Even Superman, they only go up so far. Nothing in the abs or waist as usual. Elbows that are on those rounded 90 degrees ball hinges. I like these actually when they're not double jointed. Single spinny wrists, an openy closey hingy groin, and you can see pretty much what you get for movement with these folks. And then the knees are those single jointed, just a bit more than 90-degree knees, and then nothing at all in the ankles and no rotation of any kind around like that. So they're always really, really basic with their articulation. Now, although these figures are very simple, they still tend to be very collectible, and I like to collect these in spite of the fact that they have much, much less articulation. This is actually a really good Deathstroke figure. Okay, on to Batwing. Let's move him out of the picture and bring in the Batman Missions Batwing figure. There's the back of the packaging there. You got your little cartoony scene here with Batman and Killer Croc and Batwing. Here's the front of the packaging. You got Batwing, you got the Bat logo, you got the Batman missions name. You can see the big front, very Mego style. Batman, 80 years here. Here's the side. You got more Batwing just standing around looking all Batwing-y. You got the barcode. I know people like that, so there it is. On this side, you've got more images of the Batwing figure in poses you may or may not be able to get him in, and obviously, finally, we have his articulation points. All right, let's get him out of the packaging and have a look on the inside. Now, Batwing, much like Deathstroke, is one of the few True Moves DC figures to actually come with accessories. He comes with his Batwings. We're going to attach them in a second, but let's look at the figure a little bit closer first before we obstruct our view of his back with a couple big old wings. Now, the fact that Batwing is the character choice here is something that I find really interesting because we don't get that many Batwing figures. We have the Mattel Multiverse version, and I think that's it. I think that's the only other Batwing figure, and Mattel has done both of them. So kudos to Mattel for actually making a character that most people would consider to be obscure. Here's an up-close look of the Batwing figure. Lots of sculpted detail on this guy. The belt, you got all the different detail in his uniform there. The bat is nice and crisp. The helmet looks absolutely fantastic. Turning around, you can see the scallops here on his arms. His back, there's a lot of sculpted detail in this guy. I think that Mattel really wanted to do something fun with this 12-inch True Moves line because, they're killing it. They are killing it with these guys. What do you think? I think he looks great. The Batwings, just like with Deathstroke, there's a tiny little hole here that you can put the peg in and you just pop his wing in like that. And obviously he's got the two wings and we're just gonna pop it in as well. And there we have it. Batwing has his wings. Ha! They fit nicely on his back and they actually come together and they look pretty seamless. I definitely like this guy. I'm glad that I picked him up. I actually passed on him a little while ago because I was broke and I thought, oh, I'm not gonna have another chance. But then I came back recently and there he was, another one, fresh one hanging on the pegs along with Green Lantern, Flash, and Superman. Mattel is actually really good at stocking these 12-inch figures. And you know why that is? It's probably because they sell better than the multiverse ones because these are a lower price point. Overall, I do find myself incredibly satisfied with both of these figures, Deathstroke and Batwing, for their character selection. The amount of detail they have, I'm okay with less articulation, and if you've seen any of my True Moves figure reviews, then you'll know that I'm usually okay with that for the lower price point. And seeing both of these guys actually makes me more than a little sad that Mattel did not retain the 12-inch license. It would have been cool if the 6 and 7-inch had gone to McFarlane. Spin Master has the little kid license, but at least leaving a little bit of the license, a little bit of meat on the bone for Mattel to keep doing these, because I've been impressed with these every single time. For the price point, these guys just can't be beat. The fun part about these latest True Moves figures, whether it be Justice League or Batman Missions, is that they all fit so seamlessly together. I mean, he's not a True Moves Batman Missions, but he looks great next to Joker and Scarecrow and Batwing. And then here we have a Superman and we have a Shazam, and these are really fantastic. If you haven't jumped on the True Moves bandwagon yet, seriously, you're missing out on some really excellent but very simple renditions of some of our favorite DC characters. And I honestly, go on a toy hunt to Walmart and see what you can find before it's all gone. Anyhow, super friends, this review is nothing more than my own thoughts, opinions, and observations about the new True Moves Deathstroke and Batwing, and really the line as a whole in general. And I'm sure you're going to have your own, so take the time to leave them down in the comment section below. If you liked the video, pop a like on it. And if you want to see more of the sort of content that I record and pop out onto YouTube on a pretty regular basis, then today I invite you, on behalf of the rest of the super friends, to join the DC squad by hitting the subscribe button and digging the notification bell so that you get notified of, well, we know what that's for, right? Notification. Anyway, I will see you in the next one. Have a DC day, super friends, and take care. I'm teabagging, I'm teabagging, I'm teabagging, I'm teabagging.